My involvement with Rotary started long before I was a Rotarian actually. I was actually an interactor at high school, and that's a club for high school students established by Rotary clubs. And not long after that I went to university and was part of the Rotaract Club at the University of Queensland.
I joined in 1975 and I've been in Nerang Rotary ever since. I've been president 4 times, been secretary a couple of times.
What happened with me, I can remember the year well, I was 28 years of age, but a friend of mine invited me to come along to a club that had been chartered in Cairns, where I originally come from. I went along to a couple of meetings and they formed the club, and that was my introduction to Rotary.
When I became a Rotarian, it was at the invitation of the Rotary Club of Nerang. They invited me to be their first female member in the club, and that was back in 2000. So it's been a little while, but back then Rotary was grappling with the idea of letting women into Rotary. Up until then it had been predominantly men, and some clubs had moved to admitting women, but it was at that point up to the clubs to decide. So I was very privileged to be invited into the Rotary Club of Nerang and have been with the Rotary Club over that time.
I enjoy the fellowship, the weekly meetings or fortnightly meetings as we sometimes have them. In the early days, we used to have a lot of fun doing community work.
What I really liked about Rotary is I'm meeting people, apart from the good work you do, I'm meeting people I wouldn't normally meet. And I look back in our own club now, we're not a big club, but I've got friends who I wouldn't normally meet.
Fellowship. Fellowship is definitely the biggest part of Rotary, and being part of a club of diverse members, professionally diverse, that's a big advantage for me because I'm a teacher. I happen to be married to a teacher, so to come to Rotary and not have to talk about teaching or education or things to do with school, it's a breath of fresh air in my week, and to have an opportunity to talk to other people who are involved in their community and want to be part of making improvements in their community. It's a really positive atmosphere to socialise in, and also to get some community work and some focus around our service.
I think business people in Nerang should try to be involved in a community organisation that does community good rather than just coming to work here and going home.
I'm a plumber by trade, and to be honest, I see enough plumbers at work. I don't need to see any more after work. And it's good to have the ability to see and meet other people that you don't necessarily going to do any business with, but open your mind to new experiences, to new challenges and to new friendships. For our club, we do some fundraising, and that's predominantly through barbecues, although we have had some lunches and other things to attract some fundraising dollars. And then we spend that on projects that are identified by our members in the club. So if we see a need, we can respond to that need, whether it's locally or whether it's further abroad.
It's a very stable club and very friendly. There's a lot of energy goes into thinking about projects.
The key for me is my friendships and the people I meet in Rotary. And to me, when you actually do good without recognition, leaves you with a very warm glow in your heart.
In recent times we've been supporting drought and the drought relief efforts, particularly in the southern part of Western Queensland. And we've also supported an Indian hospital with getting some equipment into the hospital to support a low socioeconomic community in India. So we've been able to support both those projects through money raised locally, and it's certainly had an impact in our wider community.
It comes to this, to be good in business, you need to concentrate on your business. That's important. But to be a good businessman, you need to not only concentrate on your business, but you need to think, how else can I help our community? You can become very self-absorbed as a businessman, but it's always good to look around and see, hey, what else can I do that doesn't, where I'm not the centre of attention? Where can I help someone where it's not about me, it's about someone else? And particularly when it's about someone else, when you're not looking for self-gratitude, where I'm happy to do goods and I don't get anything back for it. And that's, to me, is a very important thing.